This is the house. We bought this house 2.5 years ago, and I had never had a garden before, never done any gardening, and this is what I've done so far. So in the front pots, there's I have Photinia planted in there, but they're still shrouded by the pansies from earlier this spring. Eventually the Photinia will take over. This has mums coming out, and I used to have some pansies in there. Same with this side. I have some pansies, but the mums are starting to come. They will flower in the fall. Now on this side, oh look, it's a kitty. Hi Daisy Days. What you doing? What you doing? Okay, then in this area here, I have Photinia snowdrift planted in the window boxes. This is Dusty Miller, that's coming back from last year. That's a boxwood. This is a canna that I did not plant. That is coming up. That is some rosemary, euonymus, a foxglove. This is some lavender. This is a little mum that will come back. We've got a rose that I just clipped a bunch of the roses off the top and put them in an arrangement in the living room. I'll have to show a picture of that. We've got lavender. This is a autumn joy sedum. It will eventually get some beautiful flowers on it. This is lamb's ear. This is one of the bits that I divided from my big lamb's ear in the backyard and transplanted it here. This is another one I divided from my big Shasta Daisy. It's gonna flower soon. Those are some irises that already flowered and I cut them out. This is Solidago fireworks. This will eventually get these beautiful yellow flowers coming out of it. Got a little more. This is a rose that I planted. Isn't this just beautiful? I love these roses. Alright, let's see. This is an example of when I didn't know what I was doing and I planted things too close to each other. So this is another Shasta Daisy. This is a hardy geranium. We got some more. This is, I can't remember the name of this, but this is a little transplant. We've got some, this is a blueberry right here. We've got some yarrow starting to flower. This is a Japanese anemone. This is black-eyed Susan, starting to come up. We've got some old irises in there that I did not plant. On this side, I had a bunch of bulbs that I planted all around this hydrangea, and this is a Limelight Hydrangea that I can't wait to see if it flowers. Then over here I've got a couple of hanging baskets hanging from the crabapple tree. We've got geraniums and Dichondra Silver Falls. So this hedge that is growing all along the side of both sides of the lawn, this is called Photinia, and when the new growth emerges, it comes out red and then eventually fades to the green, and right now it's got some flowers too. This is an apple tree. It does golden delicious apples. We've actually harvested a lot of apples from this tree. Okay, back to this side. So now this is my favorite tree in our whole yard. This is a Tricolor beech tree. I love it so much because the leaves, when they come out in the spring, they are hot pink. They eventually fade to kind of a light pink and green, and then in the fall they get this beautiful like orange color. They're so pretty. Okay, so over here I've got a boxwood. Got a boxwood here. I have a rosemary. This is a marigold that I planted from seed. It's gonna flower soon. Here's another lavender. This is a mum. That is a foxglove that just got decimated by bugs earlier, but I'm so happy that it's actually flowering now. So over here you can see a lot of the bluish silver foliage. I just love that. So this is more transplants from my lamb's ear, my big lamb's ear in the backyard. I did 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. This is more Dusty Miller that's come back from last year. I had no idea that these were perennial in my area when I planted them. There's a foxglove there. That is a lupine. We'll see if it actually flowers. That's a foxglove that got demolished by bugs. That, I believe, is another black-eyed Susan. This is one of the old rose bushes that was here when we bought the house. It always kind of struggles with black spot, but they do get beautiful. We've got a euonymus. We got some really old lavender that's got grass growing all around it. I need to pull all the grass that's growing into this bed. This is one of my other Shasta Daisy transplants. This is an aster. There's a euonymus. That is a weigela that I planted last year that I'm glad it's starting to flower. Surrounded by some old irises that will probably come out. That is a Japanese anemone, which I hope will flower. Some beautiful white roses. This is more of the old roses that were here when we bought the house. I have in these boxes, I have more Photinia Vista Snowdrift. Alright, let's see. I put a couple Photinia Vista Snowdrifts in the ground just to see how they do this year. Oh yeah, this is interesting. This is a plant that I did not plant. It just kind of appeared this year, and I looked it up and it's called mullein. It is quite pretty actually, but it is eventually going to get a big, tall, yellow flower spike apparently. This is another Solidago fireworks. There's a little ladybug on it. We've got, I think that's some Veronica that will come back. There's another hardy geranium. This is the giant Shasta Daisy that I divided, and I got 3 plants out of it along this front side, but I'm probably going to need to divide it again. It's huge. There's a little mum right there that I put. Oh, this is another Autumn Joy sedum that will eventually get beautiful flowers. And then back here there's another one of these. I'll put the name up on the screen because I can't remember, but they get these funky little purple flowers. So yeah, that's this flower bed. Kind of cool. This is the hedge on the other side of the Photinia. So then if you walk into the backyard, I still haven't figured out what this hedge is. This was here when we bought the house. I'm not really sure what it is. It gets these tiny little flowers on it. They haven't opened yet, but the bees love it. Okay, so going into the backyard, this is still a work in progress. So this is our Magnolia Tree, and I have a basket with impatiens. And in the ground, this is where I planted a bunch of hosta. I love these hostas, they're so beautiful. And then I found these hellebores, which they're all done flowering of course, but I've got these hellebores that I put in here as well. You can kind of see over here, there's some flowers on it. Okay, over here on this side, in this window basket, I have a bunch of these little coleuses starting, which they will get huge eventually. Then I have some ferns here. These ferns are lovely. Okay, so this is our backyard. This is all a work in progress too. We're gonna build a deck here. We're gonna have a gravel pathway. So this is a big, I think it's a Japanese holly hedge that was here, and it was massive, so I just cut it back. Hopefully it'll flush back out. Okay, so in here I planted alyssum from seed. I started the seed inside and then put it in this basket, and it's actually starting to get flowers, which is exciting. This is a bird bath that I put some succulents in because they were never using it as a bird bath. This is lemon verbena, I think. We've got oregano back there. Here's our chives. They're flowering beautifully this year. This is the massive lamb's ear that I got 8 plants off of when I divided it, and it looks like it even needs to continue being divided. We just had some rain, so it's kind of flopping in the middle, but it is really beautiful, and it gets these flowers that the bees just love. We've got rosemary, we've got a mum, some heather. This is pretty much done flowering, but this is a clematis. And over here we've got honeysuckle, which is in bloom right now. So the bees are loving it, and it smells really good when you walk into the backyard. Below that we've got, this is like a winter savory. This is, I believe it's tarragon. We've got some mum here, some thyme, a yucca, some more dusty miller. We've got some succulents in here. That is an aster. This is a rose bush that was here when we moved in. The flowers are looking kind of spent. I need to deadhead it a little bit. Under that we've got, oh no, maybe this is the tarragon. I can't remember what this is exactly. This is a sage. It's really lovely. We've got another aster here, which will eventually flower. This, I can't remember the name of this, but I will put it on the screen. This is a beautiful little climbing rose that I planted. There's a little thyme under there. Here's another yucca. This is some alyssum. I just love alyssum. It flowers forever. It doesn't get any bugs. And it's super easy to take care of. So I want to plant that everywhere. This is a mystery plant that I can't remember. I planted it, but I don't remember what it is anymore. We've got another honeysuckle here growing up this trellis. This is my peony bush, which had already flowered, and I cut the flowers off and made some beautiful arrangements. We've got another mum down here. We've got some bee balm. We've got some lavender that's starting to flower. It's really lovely. Here's my other basket with alyssum that I grew from seed. And here is our vegetable garden. So we've already harvested a lot of stuff, but we still got some stuff left. So this is carrots. We've got some onions. We did, in this blank spot, we had turnips. They got huge and we harvested them already. This is pickling cucumbers that are starting to grow up this trellis. Or no, sorry, this is beans. These are long beans that are starting to grow up the trellis. The pickling cucumbers are over here. They will eventually grow up there. Got some more onions there. We've got strawberries in this little hanging basket. We've got another strawberry down there. We got some mint. In this bed we have tomatoes. So these two big ones were, a friend gave them to me, already started in her greenhouse, so they're well far along. These are ones I'm trying to grow from seed. We've got a little bit of parsley in there. Then in this bed we've got lettuce, which this already grew full on and we harvested all of it. So now it's starting to kind of come back after we cut it all back. We've got arugula in there. This is celery growing there. This is more parsley, tons of parsley. Then in this bed, there's a lot of young stuff. So this is basically all peppers and cilantro. So we've got basil here, we've got peppers, more peppers all in here. Then we got some cilantro that looks kind of sad over here. So yeah, that's kind of the state of the yard right now. And then, oh, I forgot, I have a couple little flowers over here in this little planter. So in these little planters, I've got this fuchsia. Isn't that pretty? And then we've got coleus and more fuchsia. So anyway, that's the state of the yard so far. I've got a lot of weeding to do. We've got a lot of kind of hardscaping we still have to do. But pretty happy with how some of the things are coming out, and once they start flowering, it's gonna look really lovely.